And no, I ain't getting out of this vehicle. I'm not gonna surrender. Surrender is not an option. Please! Lord have mercy! I present you no threat! I'm giving you my arm! I'm giving you my arm, sir!
The person being represented here is a man by the name of Kidnapped Victim. So we will agree that California is not in the USA then.
I'm going to disconnect the call and inform the department of the situation, okay?
Oh boy.
Today we're off to Arizona, California, Montana, and possibly Texas, courtesy of what appeared at first to be just like any other SovSit traffic stop. Now there's no intro or context to the initial video whatsoever. It jumps right into the action and we're in the Tesla of a man who's been pulled over by the police.
They popped my tires. They got guns out. I present no threat to any of these. I'm just a man with the Constitution. Look at that. That's the United States Constitution. They about to try and shoot me through it.
From the audio, we can tell that he didn't pull over as he should have done, as his tyres have been popped by a stinger, or spike strip. Now I can understand exactly why people thought this was a bog-standard SovSit roadboat captain at first. For starters, he keeps making little quotes from the SovSit script, and here's a fucking parrot on his shoulder.
Look at my bird! Look at my bird! He's scared to shit!
Despite this, his insurance was up to date, the vehicle was registered with the state, and if he's got insurance, he must also have a valid driving licence, which would suggest that he's not a SovSit, just using the bits of the script that he likes. Which begs the question, how do you cherry pick the best bits of a script that's never actually worked in any court? But let's take a closer look, because this is definitely not a standard SovSit traffic stop. Straight off the bat, he's playing the victim. He refers to himself as presenting no threat and just a man with a constitution.
Go on! Read that first! Read this right here! Read this shit, bitch! Read it!
He refuses to comply with law enforcement and expects officers to conduct the interaction according to his script, not the laws and policies that actually govern how interactions like this are conducted. This is another classic SovSit script tactic, where they try to act as though they're the ones in charge, calling the shots, despite their other claims that they have no connection, contract or joinder to that country or its laws. It's one or the other, guys. It appears like one of the officers actually puts a bullet through the window, and our suspected SovSit drives around to the front of the lorry to use it as a shield, while claiming it's the police now putting the truck driver at risk.
Look, they're willing to put this man in danger to try and me. They are willing to shoot that man behind me to me. They got nothing against me. I broke no laws.
Idiot. As it turned out later in the story, this was actually a rubber bullet. They were using non-lethal ammunition.
Guys, get my lawyer on the phone. Get my lawyer on the phone right now. I'm talking to my attorney right f***ing now, asshole. You cannot shoot me while I'm on the phone with my attorney. Stop it.
And here we have another SovSit tactic, attempting to hold court by the side of the road.
I'm on the phone with my lawyer.
But you're not. So now I'm starting to think that maybe your previous claim about not having broken any laws might also have been a lie.
Stop! My hands are up! I present you no threat, sir! I present you no threat! I'm giving you my arm! I'm giving you my arm, sir!
And while the video ends there, the story is just beginning. I decided to dig a little deeper, and I found some shocking information about our roadboat captain. Meet Jedediah Schultz, aka Valentino Satoshi Vanderbilt, aka the Tesla Cowboy. Not to be confused with Irish craftsman Jedediah Schultz, or Broadway actor Jedediah Schultz, both fine upstanding citizens of their respective countries, I'm sure. Hold on a sec. Haven't we seen this person before somewhere? I'm sure I've seen this guy somewhere before. Yes, that's it. He was the drunk housewife Karen in this Radical the Unhallowed Night video last year.
I need to call my attorney. I'm not getting in that car until I call my attorney. I'm calling my attorney.
It's not going to happen.
No, I'm calling my attorney.
When the time comes, I'll call you
right f***ing now. Piece of shit. You know what? You are the piece of dirt that I wouldn't piss on if you were on fire.
I smell an odor of alcohol on your breath.
No, that's my piss.
That's your piss?
I'm pissing on you.
Okay.
Pissing on the officer with piss breath. Now, our Jed, despite using a Frankenstein's monster of Sovsit and Freeman of the Land scripts coupled with delusional conspiratorial claims and drug-fueled ramblings, seems to actually want to create joinder with the government, as he plans to run for Montana State Representative. On his now terminated YouTube channel, he stated, "My name is Jedediah Gordon Schultz, and I'm running for Montana State Representative. I came to this decision after a corrupt Mineral County MT sheriff," that's Montana, isn't it? "After a corrupt Mineral County Sheriff Department tried to murder me on orders from the Chinese handlers. After surviving the attempted hit in which even Missoula SWAT nearly became involved, it gave my life renewed purpose and shed more light on how massive the Chinese incel invasion really is, and also how corrupt my home state has become, from Mineral County to Missoula, Broadwater, Sweetgrass, and certainly other Montana counties. We, the people of Montana, must take the power back while we have this momentum in our favor. A true law-abiding USA native born and raised in Arley, Montana, when I'm elected, I promise to go after the damn Californians who piss on our values and the Chinese who wage war on our people with drugs and shitty consumer goods. I will govern according to only the Constitution of the USA and nothing else besides the Sniper's Code of Honor." Sounds more like the first draft of a delusional mass shooter's manifesto than a wannabe politician's press release. Kind of concerning there. In a now removed fundraiser set up by a Lindsay Schultz, we see a false claim of Jed being shot at several times. As we saw in the video, one single rubber bullet came through the window. We see a claim that he was hit, and while it doesn't say by a bullet or a rubber bullet, it certainly reads as though that's what Lindsay wants the potential donator to think. And the audio from the traffic stop doesn't sound like Jed's being hit, just arrested. We see a mention of him living and travelling in his Tesla. We see a false claim of constitutional rights being violated. And the mention of extradition to California, where the fugitive charge we saw in the mugshot comes from. And it's in California where we find our earliest glimpse of Jed's dark past. On the 21st of May 2022, Apple Valley police deputies responded to reports of a disturbance on Cuyamaca Road. The person who called the police claimed that Jed was refusing to return their 3 cats. While speaking to Jed, an officer noticed a child inside with several cats, and he could also smell a strong odour of cat urine. Obviously, this caused concern for the welfare of the child, so the officers entered the house to find over 50 cats, exotic birds, lizards, and dogs. The entire house had been turned into a litter box with wood chip covering the floor, and rooms turned into various habitats for the animals. But as if this wasn't bad enough, Jed's 3-year-old son was being made to sleep in a closet on bedding covered in cat urine. It's absolutely disgusting, and as a father, it's heartbreaking to read. The child was placed in the care of Child Family Services, and Jed was arrested for child cruelty and held in lieu of $100,000 bail. Ultimately, he was sentenced to probation for willful cruelty to child. It doesn't seem to even come close to justice for me, that. Jed's next step towards infamy was in Arizona, and the case of Harris versus Vanderbilt, where it was alleged that on the 17th of September 2022, Valentino Satoshi Vanderbilt, Jed, while working as a Lyft driver, sexually assaulted an unconscious woman after providing her a ride. We see a reference next to his name that explains the defendant is also known as Jedediah Schultz, so I'm confident we have the same person here. I really doubt there are two criminals out there using the same two fairly unique aliases. The document confirms we have the right man, as it refers to his arrest for child cruelty, to which he'd pleaded no contest. It seems in this case, though I may have this wrong, and please correct me in the comments if I am wrong, the plaintiffs and the evidence suggested that Jed was an Arizona resident, but Lyft threw a spanner in the works by claiming that he is not a resident of Arizona, removing the case to federal court by alleging diversity jurisdiction. Diversity jurisdiction comes into play where a lawsuit is between two residents of two different states, with each state having the constitutional right to create their own laws under the 10th Amendment. This means that such a case would have to be held in a federal court. The document goes on to read, Lyft did not affirmatively allege Vanderbilt's citizenship. So it looks to me like Jed simply neglected to update his Lyft profile when he fled California to trigger the fugitive charge. Neither party can affirmatively declare with certainty which state Vanderbilt was a citizen of at the time of filing the lawsuit. Indeed, Vanderbilt has not yet appeared as a defendant in this case, nor has he been served. However, each party offers various facts about Vanderbilt to support their arguments. Now, the evidence listed was the child cruelty case and the subsequent fundraiser, which both listed the address in Apple Valley, California, and cover the months May through to June of 2022. On the 4th of August, Jed obtained an Arizona driver's license using an address in Scottsdale, Arizona. On the 17th of September 2022, when arrested for that report of sexual assault, the police report listed an address in Chandler, Arizona. However, further in this report, it reads, I went to the address in Chandler and contacted Jana Treglown, who informed me that Valentino Vanderbilt left Arizona and may possibly be in San Antonio, Texas. Jana stated that Valentino Vanderbilt could also be in Colorado or California, though that's unlikely because he'd fled California. Jana further informed me that Valentino Vanderbilt had only been in town for a few days and was not their roommate as he had stated. Jana described him as a compulsive liar. Jed's Tesla had been registered in Arizona since September 2018, which also includes his time in California, further muddying the waters. Lyft, rather unhelpfully, refused to provide any further data, records, or evidence that they have concerning Jed. And I'm a software developer. I understand the need to keep user data safe, but this is a sexual assault court case, for fuck's sake. I had the same issue with Snapchat a few years ago when it came to light there were paedophiles sending dick pics to my then 13-year-old daughter. The police contacted Snapchat. Snapchat would not give any details about the paedophiles that they were protecting on their platform. It's disgusting. Thankfully, the court determined that, even accepting Lyft's evidence, there is evidence Vanderbilt changed his domicile from California to Arizona in late summer 2022. In June 2022, Vanderbilt indicated online that he was homeless. He got a driver's license in Arizona in August 2022, and he physically resided for at least some period of time in Arizona in September 2022. While that may not be enough, standing alone, to definitively prove Vanderbilt's domicile is Arizona, it is enough to undermine Lyft's argument that Vanderbilt remains a citizen of California. Accordingly, Lyft has not met its burden to demonstrate complete diversity of citizenship by a preponderance of the evidence. The motion to remand will be granted. Aside from 2 letters being sent in April 2023, I can't find any further updates on this case. We move on now to December 2023, where Jed took the police for a drive, the end of which we caught at the start of this video, where 15 minutes of no surrender had quickly turned into getting out of the car and surrendering to officers after that rubber bullet came through the window. For this little police chase, Jed received 4 charges: carrying a loaded firearm in a public place, possession of a controlled substance, driving under the influence of a drug, and evading arrest. No charges were filed for that hat. On the 4th of January this year, Jed provided a video update on the situation.
Yeah, I survived that shit. Yeah, it was a hell of an ordeal.
Now, is he hiding his eyes because they show he's lying, or because he's on drugs?
My car, the beautiful white Tesla, it is riddled with bullets, bullet holes all throughout it, damaged completely, 100% totaled.
What? We saw in the video that only one projectile came through the window, and it was non-lethal, like a rubber bullet.
2 bullets hit me, one on the shoulder and one directly in the spine, and miraculously again, they left holes in my shirt. They didn't puncture my body, and that is nothing short of a miraculous intervention.
Can you smell that? What is that? Sheep, is it? It's cows? No, I know what it is. It's bullshit.
What do I do for the Oath Keepers? It's called counterintelligence. And like I was trying to tell y'all before, I do these audits so that I can infiltrate the system entirely. This audit was my most successful one till date in the USA because it brought me into the inner circle of judges, lawyers, prosecutors, the entire sheriff's department, all of the staff in the Indio jail, all the staff in the Blythe jail, and all the crooked, dirty pigs along the way.
So he's a frauditor now too. Wow, given the sexual assault and the child neglect, he's in pretty good company.
Bootlickers, go ahead and call me a criminal or whatever you want to. Go ahead. I'm an Oath Keeper.
Jed then tried to play Jedi mind tricks with the lady from the courthouse.
The person being represented here is a man by the name of Kidnapped Victim. And the attorney in the case is none other than yours truly, Valentino Vanderbilt. Now I have on the phone here a person from the court who is trying to coerce me and tell me what I have to do. To be specific, which courthouse is it we're referring to at the moment?
We're located at Hall of Justice.
Okay, and where is that?
That's in Riverside,
And where is Riverside located? What state?
California.
Is California located in the United States of America, or yes or no?
Sir, can I please get your name and put contact information so I can send
Ma'am, that was a yes or no question. Where is Riverside
We're not
located?
going to do this.
We're not doing that? So we will agree that California is not in the USA then. I'm taking your resistance to the question as a no. Don't try to flip the script here and say that the attorney is the defendant. So here we go. I am the attorney for one named Kidnapped Victim. If you look at the intake paperwork where this man was held hostage in Blythe jail, you will see his name was written down, Kidnapped Victim, and you will see that the boss of the warden, as you might call him, of the jail, stamped off and approved that the man's name was Kidnapped Victim. You will also hear him testify that he is a hostage. I am that man's attorney.
My name is Braff Zachlin. I was an international race car driver. One day, a baby carriage rolled out onto the track, so I swerved into the retaining wall to avoid it. The car burst into flames, but the baby miraculously survived. I was that baby.
Right, so he's claiming to be an attorney working for a defendant called Kidnapped Victim, which would make him guilty of practicing law without a license, wouldn't it?
Contact information.
I said, goddamn.
I'm going to disconnect the call and inform the department of the situation, okay?
What are you going to inform them of?
Of exactly what just happened.
What just happened? Can you define what happened?
I'm going to let them know that an attorney, person claiming to be attorney,
There we go.
Valentino Vanderbilt.
Wrong.
has
The
called
attorney's
and
name is
informed them.
Valentino Vanderbilt. The client's name is Kidnapped Victim. We're going to go over this one more
Either
time to
way.
be clear. The case number is BLF 2300251. Did you get that?
And he gets hung up on. Brilliant. Later that day, Jed created his own court, with himself as judge, jury, and executioner.
He's not Judge, Judy, and Executioner! He is!
And oh look, he dismissed his own case and awarded himself
This is the only correct and accurate statement and judgment which will be or has been made in this courtroom as of this date. To my knowledge, all charges are dropped, and it is ordered that the state of California must remit $333,333,333 to Valentino Satoshi Vanderbilt by no later than 01/12/2024 at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
$333,333,333. Unfortunately for Jed, as is always the case when you use soft-sit and freeman of the land bollocks in the real world, it didn't work, and a bench warrant was issued for his arrest. As we saw in the earlier mugshot, Jed was arrested on the 16th of January this year in Missoula County, Montana, for the bench warrant from California and for the felony of making threats in official and political matters. He was taken to a Missoula County jail where he remains as a pretrial detainee in lieu of the $250,000 bond. Oof. On 20th of February, a petition for writ of habeus corpus was filed against the Sheriff's Office Captain Petition by Gary Schultz. Gary?
His name is Gary. Gary?
It appears Gary Schultz is Jed's dad. The docket report shows an amended petition for writ of habeus corpus coming in on the 11th of March, this time using Valentino Satoshi Vanderbilt as the petitioner. Jed makes some very bold claims and some serious allegations in this petition. We have allegations of excessive force. He claims he suffered injuries, including a concussion, broken rib, and abrasions to his body. He alleges that he was compliant and offered no resistance to the arrest. I'm sure you all believe that. He also claims he made hyperbolic statements, which were recorded by Trooper Larson's vehicle camera. Oh, I'd love to see Trooper Larson's vehicle camera footage. And by the sound of it, the vehicle camera footage contains evidence of the additional charge of making threats in official and political matters.
Oh, I see. Then everything is wrapped up in a neat little package. Really, I mean that. Sorry if it sounded sarcastic.
He claims that since his arrest, he's been held in solitary confinement without being provided competent counsel to represent him. He's accused the State District Court Judge, Honourable John Larson, of engaging in collusion with Trooper Larson to keep him incarcerated. He alleges that Judge Larson has acted unilaterally to vacate hearings, impose an unreasonable bail amount, and illegally order that Schultz be evaluated at the Montana State Hospital. Montana State Hospital, you'll be unsurprised to learn, is a psychiatric hospital providing inpatient treatment for adults with serious mental illness. He goes on to ask the court to dismiss all charges and overturn all unilateral orders or decisions made by Judge Larson, and release him from detention, adding that he will return to California to address the outstanding warrant and pending charges.
Bullshit. You're talking bullshit.
And of course, we can believe the compulsive liar who has lied and deceived throughout this entire saga, can't we? Apparently not. On the 26th of March, Judge Donald Malloy dismissed the petition without prejudice. Perhaps he'd remembered this clip.
I will not be going back out to Blythe, California for any reason whatsoever. My job there and my work there is done.
It is also noted that, on the face of his petition, Schultz acknowledges that he has not yet been convicted or sentenced, and that his state criminal proceedings are ongoing. Additionally, to the extent that Schultz appears to challenge the actions of Judge Larson, it appears his case was recently transferred to Honourable Jason Marks. Further, Schultz has not attempted to challenge his detention in any fashion within the state court system. And finally, Schultz has not exhausted his state court remedies, and his situation does not involve an adequately unusual circumstance. His petition is dismissed without prejudice. And so, for now at least, Jed remains a pre-trial detainee in a Missoula County jail, which will surely do his campaign to become Montana State Representative no favours whatsoever. But where do you think he'll end up? Will Montana State Hospital take him, given his clear mental illness and history of drug use? Will he go to prison for the bench warrant and the threats? And what happens with Harris versus Vanderbilt now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. If you didn't like it, feel free to tell me. I'm a big boy, I can take it. But until next time, cheers.